All right, y'all. Welcome to this week's VIP technical analysis stream, where we will be going over the Bitcoin and Ethereum price action and basically lay out a plan for the week. All right, guys. Going to give it another minute for people to get in here. Shout out to Jason Jones, RB Smith. What's going on, bro? The Independence Dip. Josiah, Brad Baker. What's going on, Kevin? What's going on, Sandra Smith? What's up, Tom Bots? Thank you guys for being here. And yeah, so interesting stuff. Interesting weekend, actually, with the pump and the dump and whatever's going on right now. Whatever is happening now, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. All right, y'all. Well, we are live on this beautiful Monday morning. It is a beautiful Monday. And I just think it's so interesting, before we get into the TA, that if we just take a look at how this price action has kind of played out, pulling the old Fibberoo from this swing low here to this high up here, we have gotten a respecting these levels pretty well. Respecting the levels pretty well. I'm sorry, not this high here. This high right up here, where we come down, we get a little bounce off the 382. We get a nice, 1.25% move. We come down to the 0.5. We get a pretty much the same kind of move. And, let's see what happens as we come down to the 618. I think it's really interesting because, I was really hoping we'd come down to the 618 right here, and we just front ran it a little bit. So it'll be really interesting to see if we do come down to this 32.5-ish level and get our bounce out of that golden pocket. But this did make for a really good scalp. I'm sure probably a lot of people took that. Not only is it the 0.5 level, but it's exactly, like literally, also a daily level right there. So, that was a pretty nice little long if you took it. It was a little bit riskier of an entry. We had the, if we take a look at the 3-minute, as we're coming down to that daily level, we do see that we have a very clear bullish divergence as far as the VWAP and the momentum waves go. The VWAP is giving us a higher low, and the momentum waves are also giving us a higher low as the price is forming a lower low. Of course, we did see the money flow coming down, but that's not a bad trade if anybody took that, for sure. All right, so let's just take a look at things on the macro scale, and then we'll zoom into the micro scale. We'll get out our microscope, and we will take a look at Bitcoin. So yesterday, for a little while, this weekly green dot was starting to print right here, and we know that these weekly dots on Market Cipher B, they do tend to give us a big move to the upside, especially if they're under the zero line. We see this one right here, we come up pretty high. We see this one right here, we get a move pretty high. We see this one right here. While it's printing, after it confirms we came down more, but while this thing was printing, we did get a 43% move. Isn't that crazy, that candle? Because we're not if we switch to log scale, it looks a little bit more, to scale. But that little candle is a 43% move right there, as this green dot is printing. And so we need to keep that, I think, in the background of our minds, because even if this is the beginning of the the bear market, as people are saying, technically we could come up pretty high. We could on the weekly time frame, we could come all the way up to here and still put in a lower high and continue on downward. Of course, we do see the money flow curving down, so it's very possible we could do, after we print this green dot here, we could come up and print a red dot right here and kind of curve over, similar to what we saw right here, right on the 2-day time frame, where we printed this dot down here, but it didn't have much momentum and it came right back down. So that's something just to keep in the background of our mind as we're looking at the price action, that we are about to get this green dot on the weekly, which, green dots on high time frames, they they do really tend to give us some kind of a pump. And yeah, okay, so let's take a look at the daily. What's going on the daily time frame? Obviously, consolidation, really lots of sideways trading here. Market Cipher, you could say that the momentum is moving upwards, right? Momentum is moving upwards. Money flow, we could take out our trend line and see that, yes, money flow is coming up slightly here on the daily time frame. On the 12-hour, we could see it a little bit better, that the momentum and money flow does seem to be coming up. Come to the 4-hour, we can see the money flow has crossed over to the blue. Right now we're going to see, are we going to start to, is this the apex of the blue money flow? Are we going to come back down and print purple again, or is this going to continue up? If we printed a nice tight wave right here, we could really continue on with this direction for a while, because even though this momentum wave is a little bit lower, this one right here is a little bit lower than the previous one, it's still not giving us a bearish divergence, so that's good. And the 4-hour VWAP is looking quite pointy and poignant, like we're about to curve up. So what I want to do now that we're just looking at the momentum, right? Because we can't just trade only based on momentum, not in these kinds of sideways markets. But what we can do is we can keep these things in the background of our mind as we're looking at our levels to try and determine, which way is price going to pivot. So let's mark out some of our levels. And honestly, guys, things have really not changed very much at all since the past few weeks. And the reason for that is because, we literally have been trading inside of the range, this range right here, since May 19th. And until we break down below here or above here, the levels that we're looking at really are not going to change. The only thing that is going to change is as we continue to print more price action, we're going to have new daily levels, we're going to have new weekly levels. Of course, we're going to have new volume levels and new fib levels. But we're really going to be looking for trades within this small bit of price action right here. And so right now, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, because over the weekend we had the pump. We had the pump over the weekend from right here, and then also over the weekend we had this dump. We're back pretty much to where we started on Friday, which was July 3rd. Right around the time I closed my trading off for the Saturday, we started to pump, and then Sunday, I caught this dump here off of the point of control, which was pretty nice, a pretty nice trade. And right now, like I said earlier, it's interesting that we have not yet come down and touched that 618 level, which is down here. That's something to keep in mind. But also something to keep in mind is, there's a few different ways to look at this. We could look at it like we put in our high, we put in our higher low, we put in our higher high, we put in our higher low, we put in our lower high. You could look at it that way, or you could say that we've got our higher low, our higher high, and then this whole move here would put in our higher low, and then we put in a higher high. Okay, we could also look at it that way. But I do think that because there's still room, you know, especially if we're looking at a higher time frame, like the 12-hour, you know, we could still kind of say that this could be one leg of a move because of the weekend volatility. Then, you know, as long as we're still not coming down back into this box right here, I say that we're still in what could be considered an uptrend, and we should be looking to these higher levels for a trade. So let's go over the levels that I have on the chart right now, and then we'll talk about some good trade setups. And then at the end, I also want to talk about finding good scalp setups and day trade setups, because the truth is, guys, I mean, really, unless you're taking shorts, you know, from up here or taking longs from down here, you know, in the middle, it's like, are we overly bullish? Are we overly bearish? We can't be. We can't be overly bearish or overly bullish in the middle of this range. It's just, you know, when we zoom out and take a look at this price action, there's no need to feel that we're going to, you know, be able to get in a massive swing long position in the middle here. You know, maybe if we were down here, if we were, you know, up here to look for a good short, but for right now, those really awesome swing trades, they're going to be few and far in between. And so I want to talk about how to find some good trade setups if you're exclusively trading Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, throughout the day, throughout the week. So first of all, I have my daily support and resistance levels on the chart right here. Let's go to the daily time frame and take a look at why these things are marked here. Actually, let me turn off this right here. So for right now, these are the daily levels that I'm working with. For some reason, this one is not right. Okay, so pretty much, yeah, the exact same as last week. We have the 22.7110 daily level that we get from December, where you can see the candle bodies closing, wicking down to right here. Then we have the 26.202 level. Again, we have these candle bodies. This one closes, this one opens right here, then we wick down again as support right up here, this daily level, coming really from back on the 28th of January, where the candle body is unable to close below this level here, and we can see this level being respected even into May and June. And then, of course, 33.347 right here. This is a daily level. We can see it coming all the way back to the 9th of June. The 9th of June, that's the day actually that Lil Fib Casper was born, is when we came down and the candle body closed and opened right on that line. And then we've been respecting this daily level ever since. And we can see it being respected in the past. We've got 35.595. This is a level I have marked as well because of the pretty sure I marked this just simply because these candles right here, and these right here, and these right here, giving us a level of support. And maybe I should have moved this up just a little hair. Should possibly move that level up just a hair to about 35.591. Oh yeah, look at this. The label is different than the actual. Okay, so let's make this 35.591. Boom. And then this one right here, 35.925, this is a newer daily level that we got when these candles came up here and they opened and closed right here. We were unable to get a candle body above that. And then, of course, yesterday this was respected as well. Moving on up the chart right here, we've got 40,622 coming back to these candles right here, and then again respected as resistance, resistance again. And just to clarify, so a lot of times I'll say start to the left of the chart to get your levels, and that's true. We need to start to the left of the chart because a lot of times these levels will be respected moving into the future. But as we continue to print price action, remember, the right of today is the left of tomorrow. Think about that statement. It has profound political and societal implications. But really, the left of today, I'm half joking, guys. Half joking, but half serious. The left of today is the right of tomorrow. And so if you see that there's something forming on a chart, like perhaps even right around here at 35,290, mark that level. Mark that level. If it works best. Here's how it works best, guys. It works if the one day comes up, and then the second day we wick up but are unable. So this one I wouldn't really mark because we wick up, but then the second day we don't even try, right? So if we get a wick to the upside and close, and then we get a wick to the upside, and again we're unable, then you can mark that level. Let's see now. Let's come up to 49924. We could see this was the neckline of a giant head and shoulders that broke down. It's also a daily level where we're unable to come up above this resistance. And I guess obviously we do have one here at like 59K, but until we get back up there, let's mark it. What the heck? Let's make it orange. Boom, and then we'll put it here. So those are the daily levels that I got going on. I got them going on, and yeah. And again, until we come out of this area here, then these really are the only ones we need to be worried about. All right, so let's talk about the weeklies. Let's turn on the weeklies. Turn off the dailies, and let's go to the daily, the weekly time frame. I guess I should have done weekly first, right? Sometimes you just got to do life a little bit backwards, though. Sometimes. Okay, so we've got the 19,164 weekly, the 32,285. We've got the 39,061, 45K. We have one right around 58.2, and then we have one right up here at 60K. So that's probably why I didn't mark those dailies, because if we take a look, yeah, that daily is right in between these weeklies. And I guess we could even say that daily is a weekly from back here too, right? So, all right, I'll keep that on the chart. It's something to keep in the back of our minds. Okay, let's turn those off. Now let's do some volume. Now, of course, we're going to be analyzing the volume in this little same area that we've been analyzing it, because that's just where the price action is. So, from the time that we lose 42K back roundabout on May 19th, what we're going to do is we are going to pull a fixed range from right when we lose the level to our current price action, and we're going to see what we can see. So let's do that. And we'll just pull the range. Wow, that was interesting how that happened, right? And we're going to mark some key areas. So make sure we're pulling it to the present. We're going to pull it to the present. And well, a few things show up right away. First of all, yesterday, and we know this, we rejected right off that point of control of the range. Right off the point of control of the range. That was a level I've been keeping my eye on for quite some time. Yeah, this level right here, some of the important resistances yesterday as we were coming to this daily level, getting a slight rejection this POC up here, this was the next resistance that we should have been keeping our eyes on. And of course we did get a nice wick down from there. That was a nice rejection. We got a massive bearish divergence forming on the 1 hour. So that POC is still the same, which is currently now our resistance. And then some areas to keep in mind would be, here, let me delete this brush. Some areas to keep in mind now would be this level right here at 38K. This is actually our value area high of the range. And let me change this thing now from blue into hot pink. That's how I like to do it. And then we have the value area low right down here at 32,505. And keep in mind, guys, and this is important. This is important to keep in mind, that 32,505 level. Oh wait, I put VAH, I mean VAL. This is the VAL, not the VA. Sometimes I confuse my VALs and VAs. Okay. What happened to this guy? Oh, he's in miscellaneous. Okay. Just going to keep these up here for now. So something about this 32.5 level is, you know, this is also the golden ratio from our swing low to our swing high that we never touched, and it's also, I guess it's not a daily level. Is it a daily? Is it a weekly? Yeah, it's right around the weekly too, guys. So there's a lot of confluence down here to potentially come back down and get a move. There's a lot of support right here at around 32.5. A lot of support. And so, you know, that's just something to keep in mind, where that would make a really nice long setup if we happen to come back down there. If we happen to come back down there, it's possible, but you know, we can't make anything happen. So we'll just have to watch and wait and see. Right now, we're still holding this bounce right here. You know, printing this bottom on the 1 hour. We'll see how that happens. We'll see how that goes. You know, it's possible that we come down lower, right? It's absolutely possible. Okay, so let's come back to the 4 hour. And then our point of control is still the same, right around 35. Here, let me zoom in to get the exact level. The point of control is coming in right about 35,847, 35,850, let's say. 35,850. Okay. So these are some important levels to keep our eyes on, guys, because as far as volume goes, you know, there's a lot of support down here. We've got our resistance right here, and then of course we've got a resistance right up here at about 38K. So if the scenario that I was hypothesizing about, where, you know, we put in our low, our high, our higher low, our higher high, you know, our higher low, this could be our higher high up here at 38K for a nice short position. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind, the 38K potential short. All right, so let's now pull a range from, and let me create a folder here, local volume, and just move these things into here. Let's also just for fun, let's say, right? Let's pull a fixed range from the time that we lost this point of control, right? Because we can also say that we've been trading now within something like this, where this point of control is the high, and then we've got down here is the low. So let's pull a fixed range there just to see if we can get any other areas of confluence. Here we go. I'm going to pull it from right here when we lost it and bring it to the present. And interesting that we do have some levels here that I think we need to keep our eyes on. We've got our value area high right up here. It's local, but you know, it's not super local, but just so we know, it's more local than the other. So the value area high is 35386. The value area low is 32454, which again, there's a lot of confluence here for a long from this level. Again, the 32.5K level. The golden pocket is the value area low of the range for 42K. It's the value area low if we're looking at this as a range. And then our point of control gives us some there's a lot of confluence. If we take a look, we did reject off of it, you know, earlier, but there's also a lot of confluence here with this 0.5 fib level from the COVID dump to the all-time high, and we know that this level has been an important level. We can see it being respected as an important level going all the way back to the 23rd of May. So this is also an important level to keep our eyes on right here, the 34.5 level. Okay, so these are some other levels right here. 35386. And remember, guys, these will change as price action continues to print. These will absolutely change. So we can't just keep these on our chart once and done. They will change. But for right now, you know, if you see price coming down to this area, definitely be looking for a long. If you see price coming up back to this area, you know, it's unlikely we'd reject twice, but it's possible. You know, you could get a short scalp in there before we move up higher. And of course, if we come up now to this area, you know, be looking again for shorts. You know, we always want to make sure we have confluence on Market Cipher. I know everybody knows that. We're not just longing and shorting based on levels. We're not just longing and shorting based on Market Cipher. We're longing and shorting because we have all our confirmations. We have multiple confirmations telling us price is going to move one way or another. All right, so let's take a look at, again, some macro volume. This is going to be less pertinent to our current situation, but it's still good to have marked out on the chart. So let's pull our range now instead of pulling it from the time that we lost 42K. What we want to do is, well, let's go to the weekly. I know we've done this for the past few weeks, but if we turn on our VPVR indicator, we can see that the value area high of the entire range is coming in at about 50. Let's see, right here is coming in about oh, I'm sorry, I can't zoom in. The value area high is coming about, right now it's about 50.4K. So we're gonna call this now the global value area high, and if anybody is new, basically what we're doing, oh wait a second, that's logarithmic. Whoa, I was doing all this on log. Let me just check some things out real quick. All right, all is good. All is good. Yeah, so basically what I'm doing here is if we use the visible range, it's going to give us now a volume-based ranged according to all the price action we see on the screen. And so from the history of Bybit, the value area high is going to be up here at about 50.4K. And so now what I want to do is I want to pull a range from the time we lose this 50.4K, and now we're going to analyze the volume inside of this lower range since we lost that global value area high. And right here we can see it's giving us our value area high at about 39.161. Our point of control is right here about 35.849, and our value area low is coming in down here at about 32.6. So again, basically what the ranges are doing, guys, is it's showing us that this inside the value area where these volume candles are highlighted as opposed to being dimmed out, this is a fair value for the price of Bitcoin. Down at the low is where Bitcoin is considered undervalued, slightly undervalued, and at the high is considered slightly overvalued. The point of control is the fairest price in this range. So of course, when we come down to the low, we can expect to find longs down there. When we come up to the high, we can expect to find shorts. If we're trading above the point of control, it's going to act as support. If we're trading below the point of control, it's going to act as resistance. And so right here we can see we have actually a lot of confluence with the the value area highs, and the point of control is literally the exact same from both of the ranges. So this 35.8 is a very important level, and then the value area low of both of the ranges are pretty much the same too, around 32.5. So this is a very clearly defined value area where for right now it's very clear that we have some nice levels that we can really look for trades on, right? As we're coming up to these value area highs, be looking for shorts. As we come to the lows, be looking for longs. But yeah, so this is the volume that we've got going on right now. Let me just real quick organize this into a folder here. Yeah, I'm going to delete this folder right here. Boom, delete that one. And I'm going to now use these. So this is the value area high at 39161. People ask me, what does MCR stand for? Of course, it stands for My Chemical Romance. I'm surprised people don't know that. Alright, then we've got the point of control right here at 35849. And then we've got the value area low at 32,630. Okay, and let me put this into a folder. What is this guy? I don't know. I don't know what that horizontal line is. Alright, so we've got some volume levels, quite a few here. But really the most important ones are these here. So if we combine that with our daily levels, and if we combine that now with our weekly levels, we've got some nice areas to trade, right? I would say it's pretty amazing, right? So right around the point of control, we have all this support and resistance. Up here at the value area high, we have a weekly and value area high, and then down here at the value area low, I mean, there's just a lot of confluence right down here in this general zone. And of course, that fib also being down there, that golden ratio right down there is I mean, look at that that zone of support right down here. It's a nice zone of support. Okay, so that's pretty much it as far as the levels go, because, you know, like I was saying, things have not changed much besides the volume. Okay, interesting. The daily, you know, we'll see how this day goes. You know, if we print the red dot here, it's very possible we could come down farther. Okay, so let's talk about trade setups for Bitcoin. What would be the best setups that we could find? Let me turn off some of this noise. So the best, you know, long position that I could see happening in the near future would be, of course, this is assuming that we just come down further from here and we don't continue upward from this little bounce that we got here. You know, a really great long setup would be if we come down into this golden pocket and then get a bounce, and we would want to see the same things that we are always looking for, right? We want to see the higher time frames starting to form on bottom, and then we want to see the bullish divergences forming on as many time frames as possible. So the higher the time frame you see that divergence forming, the more likely you are to get a good trade off of that. So, you know, really how I would do it is I would see, are we going to come down to the 618 and just pierce through it and come back up? Are we going to come all the way down to the 0.65? Remember that we do also have we have the value area low in here, and then we also have a value area low right there as well. And did we have a weekly down there too? Yeah, we have a weekly down here, so really be watching for the reaction. I most will be expecting us to come right into the golden pocket and then get our bounce off of there. So let me turn off these things. So the way I would trade that is, when we get our reaction, I would like to see, as soon as we come up and reclaim now the 618, I would set my take profits up. I would put my stop loss below the last swing low. In fact, let me real quick, where would we look to set our take profits? Well, honestly, I think it's we could even use these fib levels for now. We could use the fib levels for now, and then I would also be taking a look at this, of course, this high right here, the point of control, and then I would just be continuing up to the 38K plus level. Honestly, if we can catch along there, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to try and hold that trade all the way to, you know, 41, 42, 43,000. The take profits, you know, as you're locking it in, the best places would be, you know, right here at the 0.5, right here at the point of control, this point of control up here as well, and then the value area high. Those would be the four main take profits that I would do, and then I would leave a little in there just in case we continue up to the top of the range. So let me just real quick, so we have just some here, hang on, we have a little bit more context here. Yeah, this is how I would look to do this. And again, this is an ideal setup, so this is not guaranteed to happen, but what we're doing is we're saying what would we like to happen, and if this does happen, what's our plan? This is our plan. So we come in, we get the bounce, we continue up, and again, take profits. I would take profit along the way. So take profit 1 would be right at that first daily. So let me real quick, let me real quick just mark them out so that we can see them, because I'm going to post these in the potential trade setup anyway, so that people who don't have time to watch the long video can yeah, okay. So let me hide all this. Hide all this. Okay, I'm just going to screenshot this for myself here. And copy this link. All right. Okay, so where else should we be looking for trades? I think one of the best places that we can really be looking for trade is still going to be if we take our fib pull from this high up here down to this low right here. I know that we also still have we've already gotten one rejection off the 618, but and this was a really nice short that I took, and I know a lot of people took, but we didn't come deep into the golden pocket, right? We just got a little rejection off the 618. It's very possible that we come up again for another little move and continue on upwards like that. This one would not be as much of a swing trade as much as like a day trade, but the way I would, there's also, you know, we also have do we have some confluence here? Let me take a look. I could have sworn I remembered as I was looking at this that we did have some kind of, no, we have no other confluence here other than just the golden pocket. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, because wait a second. Let me turn on the VPVR. I could have sworn I remember seeing something here. Yeah, interesting. Well, okay. I guess we could say we have a high volume node up in here, right? We have a high volume node right around 36.8. We have a high volume node up here. Let's put that on our chart. We have a high volume node. Okay. And so yeah, I would be looking for, you guys see that spike in volume, I would definitely be looking for, if we come back up, for a rejection now off of here, where we come up just above this high and get a reaction. We come up, grab the liquidity from this previous high and get a reaction off of there. And the way I would enter this trade setup as a short is same as we do the long. I'd wait for us to then reject out of the golden pocket, set my take profits downward, my stop loss above the last swing high, and the way I would honestly play this one is, you know, depending on if we see the strong divergences forming, I mean, you can enter pretty early, and okay, so the way I would do this is the point of control would be take profit 1 right here. point of control would be take profit 1 right here, and I would set my take profit 2 right at 35 because of all the times this level has been respected. I would do that. So right at 35K. And then yeah, I mean, yeah, really, there's just these fib levels here. I mean, you know, I would set another take profit right here at about 33.5, and then the last one at the value area low. Because really, when we're setting our take profits, we're just looking for those places where price has found the sticking point. And I know a lot of people say I oversimplify that, but the truth is it doesn't have to be that complicated. Like, when we're looking at levels, there's probably a million reasons why price found a sticking point there, and we could either take the time to figure out what all those reasons are, which is not a bad thing to do. But a lot of times, if you just look at a chart and look at where price has oftentimes found support and resistance, you know, if you do further TA, you'll find out why. You'll find out why that happened. But for intents and purposes that we have trading, we don't really care why it happened as much as that it did happen, so we can expect price to find a stopping point there. You know, we even see this working on very low time frames. So I'm not knocking hardcore TA. I'm just saying sometimes it's not even necessary. Then I would do TB4 down here at the 32.5. So this is now going to be another trade setup. I'm going to just make a copy of these links here. Okay. All right. Let me remove this now and all this. Of course, the same deal from the value area high around 38K, but really the best possible short. Let's talk about the best. Let's talk about the best. The best possible short we could take is if we come up above 41.3. If we come up above 41.3, and really, here's what we want to do. We want to put in a new high. So we want to definitely come up above 41.3, and then we want to look at the wicks that we have going on over here. We want to see where were those highs that we can come up above and then basically swing failure them. So right here 41.7, and then right here we have 42.4. So really, if we come up anywhere in between 41.3 and 42.4, we should be looking for a short. We should absolutely be looking for a short. This daily level is one that we can use as a reference point if we get a pump and we just come way up here. Also, right here, the January all-time high at 42K, this in my mind is an excellent resistance point to be looking for the short. And so really how I would kind of look to do this with the highest probability is I would wait for us to come into this box right here, and the reason I have this blue line is because this would allow us to come up higher than that last wick. But anything that we do where we come up into this box and then we fall back through the box, you would want to enter the short as we're losing the box. It will probably, but to be honest with you, a lot of times shorts are easier to find than longs, because when we're pumping, the bearish divergences are easier to spot than the bullish divergences as we're pumping as we're dumping most of the time. Like, you can see bullish divergences forming on the 2-hour in these market conditions for a while before we actually get the move. But if you see a bearish divergence on the 2-hour, I mean, we're coming down. So the way I would do this is, once we come into the box and once we lose that box, okay, put our stop loss above the last swing high, and we just take it all the way down. And really, if we lose that 42K, I would personally want to keep that all the way down to 26. That's just me. Are we going to get there? I don't know. I really don't. But as far as take profits along the way go, we're really just going to use our support and resistance. So the first take profit would be our daily, and then I would just use dailies and weeklies, really. I would take profit down along the way. I would make sure to lock it in. So let's just real quick turn off everything here, and so the daily right here, $40.6K. I would have it take profit to right around 37.5. Of course, once we hit that take profit one, make sure to lock it in as a win. Lock it in and let it ride. Maybe I would make this one a little bit higher, just because we have this support, resistance, a 38. Yeah, 38. That's what we want. 38K. We know that that's an important level. Right around 38K. Take profit 3 would be at the point of control, so right around 35.8. And then, once we do our 3 take profits, really just let this thing ride. If we get below the point of control, you might as well let it ride. But this would be the way I would do this. And turn that off. Yeah, this is how I would do it. Okay, so real quick now, those are like really the three trades that I would look to take, depending on how the week goes. And obviously this one might not happen for a while, but I want to talk about trading, lower time frame stuff. Like if we don't have time, if you only have a few hours a day to be looking at the charts, how are you going to be finding those good trades? And so, really what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to trade on lower time frames. And the way I like to do that is, we've got our daily levels marked out on the chart. But what we can also do is we can go down to a lower time frame. First of all, always know your environment, right? If you're looking for, longs, see what's happening on like the 1 hour time frame. Are we getting upward momentum? Are we in an uptrend or a downtrend locally? So right now, we're in a downtrend. Locally we have the high, we have the low, we have the lower high, the lower low. Until we come up above here, we're technically in a local downtrend. It becomes even more clear here. But what you would want to do is, if we are going to be trading on maybe like the 12, let's say the 12 minute, right? The 12 minute time frame. What you want to do is you want to mark levels of support and resistance on the 12 minute time frame, like right here, for example. And just using your eye, just mark these levels, okay? And what you can do, even right here, you could say that we had a level right around here, right? We're just using our eye. And what we can do is we can find trade setups just by using these levels that we have marked by eye. by waiting for price to come to one and then looking for a divergence. And it's the best way and the most success that you'll have with this is if you see price coming to a level and then you see a divergence in the momentum waves, the money flow, and the VWAP all at the same time. All at the same time, divergence in the money flow, the VWAP, and the momentum waves. So, a good example of that would be, there's many examples. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Here's a great example. Here's a great example of a scalp long. So let's say that we had a level of support and resistance. I lost my spot now. Where was that? Okay, here's a good example. Here's a good example. Actually, that's not a good example. I'm sorry, guys. I just had my eye on a good example and I lost it. Totally lost it. Well, anyway, my point is, if we have some levels of support and resistance marked out on a chart, just local levels of support and resistance, and we see that we are getting some kind of a divergence, we can enter a small position. And when I say small position, I mean a trade that we're going to enter and lock in profit right away. Hang on, this is 12 minute. Let me come to the 3 minute. It honestly works best on like anywhere between the 1 minute and the 6 minute. So this is actually a good example of one right here, right? This long that we just had here, where when you see that we're printing a lower low on the price and a higher low on the momentum waves, and also you see a higher low on the VWAP, okay? This is where you would want to enter a short scalp, and you would set your first take profit at that next level of resistance that you drew on your chart. Now there's 3 things to look at down here on Market Cipher B that will help us get into those good trades. Let me turn off the RSIs. We have 3 things to look at. We have the VWAP, we have the momentum waves, and we have the money flow. If 2 out of 3 things are diverging, I would say it's going to be a decently good trade. If 3 out of 3 things are diverging, you can say it's pretty much going to be a good scalp trade. So ideally what we would really want to see is the price coming down as the money flow, the momentum waves, and the VWAP are all coming up. So let me see if I can find a good example of that. Here's a good example. Here's a good example right here. So you could see that we have our high, we have a higher high, and then the momentum is giving us a lower high. The VWAP is giving us lower highs. Hang on. As we come down, the VWAP is coming down. The money flow is also coming down. This is where you would want to enter if you had a level here, right? Let's say that we had a level right here, which we don't for this example, but if we did have a level right here, this is where you would look to enter a scalp trade. If all those things line up, to at least 2 out of 3, if price is giving us the higher highs as we're coming to even a level you drew like on the 5-minute time frame, and then the momentum is coming down, the VWAP is coming down, the money flow is coming down, what you do is you enter your trade, you set your first take profit at your next support, and in this case, even though this is a hypothetical example, we still would have had a nice little scalp there. So if you're looking for trades that are high probability and you only have a few hours a day to do it, you can, on these lower time frames, draw out some levels and, you know, be looking for those strong signals. If you see divergences on at least 2 out of 3 of these things on Market Cipher, I'd say there's a high probability chance that you will hit your first take profit. And as we continue up here, you know, we continue with the divergences, and really this was like a little range that we had going on back then. But yeah, okay, let's talk about Ethereum real quick, and then I'll drop back into the chat. Let me turn back on the RSIs. And let's go to Ethereum here. Looks like now we might come down a bit. Okay, over to Ethereum. Now, Ethereum also, you know, ranging, you know, we had this big pump, and if we go to the weekly, we can see also we're about to get the dot there. If we go to the daily, you know, things looking a bit more bearish on the daily for Ethereum than they are for Bitcoin, because we just got the money flow cross under. And, you know, the only positive thing I would say is that we have this trend line going on here, where we can see that the VWAP, and oh, my grandfather he's proud that my farm is coming along pretty good. He was just here the other day. Yeah, so we can see this trend line with the VWAP and the momentum waves. As long as we continue on this trend line, we should be bullish, right? Like, as long as we don't print a wave under that trend line. If we come above it, that's even better. But right now, this trend line on Market Cipher B on the daily, this is the trajectory that we need to continue on, okay? For the VWAP and the momentum waves. And then, you know, perhaps if we continue on that trajectory, we will see the money flow start to then follow like this. Okay, so let's mark out some daily and weekly levels for Ethereum. Come to our weeklies and dailies right here. Wow. I guess I'm a little bit less organized with Ethereum than I am with Bitcoin. But I'm going to turn off all my 4-hour levels and my weekly levels here. So these are the daily levels that I got going on right now. We're at one right now at about 2,277. 2,277, that's a daily level. We can see it being respected here. We can see it being respected right here. And then, you know, right here as well. Let me just go through them now in order from the top to the bottom. So we've got 4,081. I've got 2856 as a daily. Right here we can see it. 2520 also as a daily level, all the way back from April. And of course we've got this one right here. Then we've got 1965 and 1375, 1042, and 757. You know, these ones down here, this is in a whole nother range. You know, if we come down below 1372, then we have to start worrying about, you know, Ethereum trading down here. For weekly levels, I have yeah, weekly levels I have 682, 1,688, 1944, 2,768. And you know, really, if we take a look at this here, we can see that, you know, really, since this was a resistance, this weekly level right here was a resistance. If we go to the weekly time frame, we can see right here, right, we had a very hard time breaking above this level for a couple days, and then when we came back down below it, it was immediately acting as a very powerful resistance. Maybe, is this a daily or a weekly? I thought it was a weekly before, but now I'm looking at my chart. I think that this is a daily. That I had marked as a weekly, because we can clearly see it being respected as a daily right here, and then a daily right here, and then again we're unable really to hold above that. So I'm going to make this daily. I'm sorry about that, guys, and change it to orange. So really we could see we've got these three general areas, where we have a high, a midpoint, and a low. And so what I want to do now is I want to pull a fixed range from the time that we lose this important resistance that became support and then got flipped back into resistance again, to get some volume levels. All right, pull it from there to here. This is going to give us a point of control, a value area high, and a value area low. And we can see that right now for Ethereum, we're coming back into the value area, and it is holding as our support right now. So let's go ahead and mark these out. The value area low, point of control at 2460, and then the value area high is right around that daily level at 2788. Okay, put this in a folder. This is the value area high, 2788. The point of control at 2460. And right here, got the value area low at 2214. Let's see. Yeah, I think these are important levels to have on our chart, because there's a lot of confluence right here. There's a lot of confluence where we've got the daily level and this value area low lining up very well. We've got this daily level and this value area high lining up also very well. Yeah. And then really right now, in the near future, if we are going to continue up, there's a few things we could be looking at. Obviously, we could pull our fib from this swing high to this swing low right here, and we see that the golden pocket shows up right at this little point of control right here. I was kind of hoping we would get here, but of course, if we do come back here into this golden pocket, it would be a nice short to take because of that confluence right here. We've got the point of control of this little range since we lost this important daily support, and there's a few different places we could really look to pull the fib from. So we could pull it from this swing high right here. We could also pull it from this swing high right here, because technically perhaps this is a swing high. We could even pull it from this swing high right here, and if that's the case, then perhaps even we're already rejecting from it now. I would rather, let's go to the 4-hour time frame here. For the sake of confluence, although, yeah, for the sake of confluence, I would pull it from this high up here. high right up here. Either that swing high or this swing high. I would pull it from this one, because this gives us more of a target to look for. So really, if we come up into this area here, I would be looking to short it down. So the way I would play that is, price comes up into the golden pocket. When we fall back out of it, we set our take profits back down to here. Yeah, the reason why it's very possible we could continue down here. It's very possible, but the way things are looking, it looks like we might come up a little bit more here. Although, perhaps this already is the top. Well, if we already missed it, then we already missed it, right? So this would be one trade setup that I would look to take if we come up in here into this golden pocket and then come down. And my take profits would be obviously this daily right here, and then really I would just I would take them on the way down. So we've got that one. We've got 1944. Yeah, this is how I would look to do it, honestly, for a swing trade. But actually, I'd probably take some profit right here too, because this is just a level of consolidation. But yeah, this is how I would look to do it. This is how I would look to do it. Those levels would be my take profit levels. Of course, if we come down from here, if we do come down, where would be some areas that I'm looking now to long from? Well, the way we do that is we are now, if this is a top, if that really is a top, we have a few things we could do. We could pull our fib from this swing low to this swing high, and say, if we fall into this golden pocket right here, it'd be a great time to long on the way up, right? If this is just going to continue in the uptrend, then this 618 would be a great place to look. And so, this would line up very well. So let's say if our Bitcoin long is going to happen from this this 618 down here. Wait just 1 second. What happened to my 618? Sorry guys, I hate when I lose the 618. I hate when I lose it. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Okay, yeah. So if Bitcoin comes back down off of this 618 right here, then the Ethereum equivalent 618 would be right down here. And so if we're longing Bitcoin from down there, we could also probably long Ethereum from down there. And the way I would do that is basically, if we come down into here, just back up to the top, and we put our stop loss below the swing low like that. We come down in here, we get our bounce, and really our take profits are pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I would take profit at this daily. I would take profit right here. I would take profit at the point of control. I would take profits up here, and then I would take profits, at this daily level as well. This actually would be a really nice long setup right here. This would be super nice. Right here. And again, like we're just getting ideas, right? We're just getting ideas what could happen, so we have a plan when it does happen. Right? I don't have to now think about where I'm going to take profit. What am I going to enter? Am I not? I don't have to worry about that. I've already got these things planned out. Of course, we could still say that from this swing low here to this swing high, we could potentially see a long now back down off of this weekly at 1944. this would be another area to look for a long if we come back down to here. Absolutely, this general area would be a great place to look for a long. In fact, even if we pull the fib from the whoa, hang on. Sometimes I pull too many fibs. Yeah, if we pull the fib from this absolute low here to this absolute high here, we get a lot of confluence down here at this weekly. This would be another place where I would really look to enter a trade. Yeah, and I would just take profits along the way, and make sure to lock it. Like really with these swing trades, once they're locked in, then you can be a little bit more lenient with taking the profit out. Like a lot of times I'll just lock in a trade and I'll just let the last 40% ride as high as I can. And like if we come higher than what I'm expecting, then I take profits out, and I might even use some kind of a trailing stop loss, and I use that term in air quotes because I don't literally use a trailing stop loss. But let's say so the Bitcoin short, I was in a Bitcoin short from up here. By the time we got to the 382, okay, and we started to have a retracement. Once we fell down below the 382, I just moved my stop loss to the 382. I'm like, you know what? I've taken a lot of profit out. This is as little as I'll be accepting to make with my stop loss at the 382. You can do the same thing for this kind of deal here. Okay. So let's do this. Right there. And yeah, so of course then for Ethereum, the short from the top of this daily level right here, which is also the value area high, what would be nice? Well, there's a few things that could happen. We could there's a few other shorts that we could wait for on Ethereum. One of them is if we come up above this level right here at 2641 and we do something like this, and then we lose that with a massive bearish divergence, definitely look for a short right here. If we come up and grab the liquidity above this last high and then get the bearish divergence, we would trade that down. And then of course also if we come up to the daily, I again would wait to see. You always want to be looking at these previous highs, right? Because a lot of times what will happen is we'll get the fake out, right? There's a resistance here, we get the fake out, we drop back down with the bearish divergence. So if we come up above this daily level, even all the way up to like 2868 and then lose it, enter as we come back into the daily and set our take profits along the way down. Stop loss above the last swing high and come down. And really we would set it, we'd take profit along the way, but we'd set both of these trades down to here. So let me see. And I'm going to post these setups in the group later today, and I'm going to give a little explanation for each one. I'm going to type out what we're looking for and stuff like that. But that's pretty much Ethereum, Bitcoin. That's pretty much the plan for me. Besides just looking for smaller trade setups. So again, we come down to the 3 minute, we zoom out. Obviously it's a bit easier to do when we have some kind of sideways price action and you have clear levels of support and resistance marked out on a chart. But actually, I just went over this. I went over this scalping strategy in my newest course material, Market Cipher 103 Part 3. Check that out for a good scalping strategy. If a good trade setup, a swing trade setup is far off, how you can capitalize on some of those nice scalp trade setups. What is this thing? What is this? Just a horizontal line. Hey, just a horizontal line. Let's take a look. Yeah, actually, this is a good example of a little a potential scalp entry right here, where you have the a higher high, and then you have a lower high, and the momentum waves are diverging, the VWAP is diverging, and the money flow is kind of staying the same. So this would be a potential short entry right here as a scalp. My favorite time frame to do this on is the 3 minute. I feel like the 3 minute gives you the most accurate signals. But yeah, again, check out that new content I posted in the course. So let's see if we have any questions in here. So Andy S wants to know if I'm generally bullish. Yep, J-Boy bullish. Happy America. Happy America Day. Oh, everyone. Oh, wow! I have a posted announcements. Everyone can see it. Interesting. Well, we only have 139 people in here, so I guess my bot messed up. Now everyone can see this. That's great. Well, now people know what it's like. Okay, so Josiah wants to know, do those support and resistances have to be put on a candle open and close or not necessarily? You know, you can do both, but for daily levels, and weekly levels, I do the candle body open close. The candle body open close, and I don't use Heigen Ashi candles. Timmy Jane says you get different levels when using 200 rows versus default. Yeah, that's true. So I usually use 200 rows. Well, when I say usually, I in the past have used the 200 rows. For the fixed range, I've just been keeping it on default lately. It's interesting that you get different levels. Let me take a look here. Sorry, guys. I get the same level still. There's a little bit more clarity. I see that, so there's more clarity. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's more clarity. So I would go with the levels that you're using the 200 then. I would do that. But they're so close. I mean, and remember, with all these levels, guys, it's more so, not an exact number. It's more of like, it really is like a zone. Like that's why we're not looking for price to reject directly off a level, but we do want to see like a wick up and then come back down. So it's a general zone. But yeah, okay, so this gives more clarity. You could set on your fixed range the row size to 200 instead of 24 to get a little bit more precision. A little bit more precision there. Thanks for bringing that up, Timmy Jane. I appreciate that very much so. Because I actually was not aware that the levels would be different. Andy S, am I generally bullish? I don't even know anymore, Andy S. A lot of people are bullish, a lot of people are bearish. Personally, I'm just taking it level to level, looking for good trades. And if I get in a good swing trade, and like right now, I'm long from this wick somewhere down here around 29K. If we happen to go to a new all-time high from 29K and I ride that all the way up, awesome, man. But if not, then I'm just gonna take the opportunities that present themselves to me, and I'm not gonna worry about being overly bullish or bearish until until we break out of this. This to me, if we break down from this, is bearish. If we break up from it, is bullish. But right now, we're consolidating in an area, right? And a lot of times, you know, consolidation box, you could draw. A lot of people trade Forex this way, where, you know, on lower term time frames, people are basically just waiting for the consolidation to break up or down and then trade what happens, breakout traders. So, you know, if we're looking at this as a breakout trader, you know, we're waiting for the box to break. And, you know, I would say I would like to see us come back up above 36K, because really, if we take a look at this box, what am I even trying to say? If we take a look at this box, it seems like we're trending downwards, right? Overall, you can kind of make that case that we're in a channel, a descending channel, and we had a little fake out there, but in general, we're respecting this channel. In fact, let's actually take a look at that here real quick, just to hypothesize a bit, hypothesize a little bit. Where's the channel? Where's my oh, right here. Yeah, so I've kind of got this thing going on here, you could say, right? So would like to see us come up and hold above this channel here, because yeah, I mean, obviously it's just the overall direction of it, but that's not good, right? If we're really just trading downwards, instead of looking at this like a box of consolidation, we're looking at this as a descending channel. That is pretty bearish, right? If we come down and then continue sloping down, we usually will break down even more, like what happened back here, right? We dropped, consolidate, drop, and the consolidation was a descending sloping channel. But yeah, until we break one of those important levels, I remain neutral. Jason Jones, so when you reach your new take profit, you move your stop loss to the last take profit. Not always, Jason Jones, but yes, a lot of times. Okay, so let's just say this is usually how I trade. Let's say I'm in a long swing like this. I usually will start out with, if I'm pretty convinced we're going to go up, I'll use kind of a loose stop. And then what happens is I will take, let's say I have my take profits set like even like right here, right here, right here. Then I've got my final one up here. What I usually will do is, if we come up to my first take profit, which would be right here at this white line, I will take out 30% of my trade and move the stop loss either to the entry to guarantee a win, or I will move my stop loss up enough so that if I get stopped out, I will be at break even, because I took that 30% out of the trade in profit, and the stop loss now, the loss will be enough where it equalizes the 30% I took out, and now I'm back to no loss, no gain. Okay, then what I will do is I will let this thing ride, and let's say now we hit take profit 2. Well, I might take another 25-30% out of that trade. And a lot of times, I'll just leave the stop loss where it is. Because, you know, if we come up this high, it's possible, you know, we get a rejection, we come down, like who knows what happens, and eventually we come back up. And if we hit take profit 3, now I'm like, okay, you know, this now will warrant me to do either one of two things. Either I will take more out of the trade and leave the stop loss where it is, or I will take nothing out of the trade and move the stop loss to take profit 2. It really depends on the situation. If I feel that we're probably going to get a hard rejection and come back down, then I will take profit here and move the stop loss. But just moving the stop loss from down here to up here will guarantee that I'm getting more money if we come back down and get stopped out. But that's how I usually play my swing trades. Like, once I make sure that it's a win, I become very loose with you know, I like to let them ride. I really do. I mean, I've been in this long down here since when was that? Like June 22nd, and it's July 5th right now. So, look at all the volatility that's happened here. I've got a stop loss still somewhere like down in here around like 31.6. I've taken profits out along the way. I'm just going to let that stop loss be where it will be. If we pump all the way up, let's say to like 38K, then I might move my stop loss up even more to here. But for now, I just that's how I do it. I know it's confusing for some people, but really my main goal is to not lose money and to constantly make money. And that's what I found works best for me. It takes a lot of the pressure off of always having to look at the charts. Flavius Fair, can you check the 6-minute time frame? 6-minute time frame looked like it was having a nice money flow, and then it failed right here. Yeah, I see that. I do see that. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it was a weird entry, right? I mean, a weird long position, because we let's see what the lower time frames are doing. It looks like we're coming down, right? I'm not sure what you're asking. Maybe you can clarify a little bit. Emil G, yes, I will share my new levels in Discord. Absolutely. Yeah, I usually never use log for the fibs, guys. I never use log for the fibs. I very rarely use log for fibs. So if I may have in this stream, it was because I had it on by accident. Timmy Jane's getting a very different Ethereum point of control. Are you pulling it from the same place, bro? That's strange. Let me see. Go to the 4-hour. Turn on our levels here. Wait, this is Bitcoin. So I'm pulling it from when we lost oh, you know what? Hang on. It's because I think I did it on the daily candle. Is this okay? Yeah, so interesting. So I was doing it from the daily candle here. That was a good call. Yeah, see, I was doing it from the daily candle. But I probably should have done that on the 4-hour chart. So that's a good catch there. Thank you. This is a good catch. So you guys can see let me think here. I might actually even still want to do it from the daily candle. I might still want to do that from the daily. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, I'll do it from there. I will, because we came back up. After we fell down here, we came back up into here. So I would pull it from this candle up here at around 3,000, because when we fall down through here and we get our first bounce, we come back up to 29.95. It sounds like an infomercial for only $29.95, 3 payments. You can get this fib pull extension. You can get your fib extended for only 3 payments of $29.95. Yeah, I would keep that there. Jay Holiday, yeah, guys. For a lot of these levels too, remember, like, the volume levels will change, and they will. They're zones. They're zones. They're zones. Ms. Shannon wants to know, where would my take profit be for the potential scalp off the 3-minute? Oh, Ms. Shannon, I forget now, because I was looking at that, but I will say that look at how this played out. This potential scalp. I don't have the levels drawn anymore, but we see the VWAP diverging, the momentum waves diverging, the money flow staying the same. This was a nice move, right? Like a nice scalp right there, and it's because we had all those confirmations. So my take profits probably would have been, I probably would have limited out here, had a limit order set right here, and probably had a limit order right down here. So, if you took this, this is a great place to take profit. But this is good because it actually played out. It played out on the stream. Played out on the stream. So yeah, my next take profit then would be 33,424. And the reason for that is just because of all the times that level was our support, even on the 1-minute time frame. And then after that, 33,297 would be a take profit. And of course, if you scalp and it turns out it keeps on going, then by all means stay in the trade, right? But yeah, I think I was looking at this in the 1-minute, but the 3-minute I like the best for this. The 1-minute works well too, but you're not obviously going to always get the largest moves on the 1-minute. And I find like the 6-minute can work, but the 3-minute is that happy middle. Okay, well, hang on, guys. We got a lot of. Do I increase my positions on those swing trades, River Priest? I did back when we were in a strong uptrend. I will increase, but if we're trading sideways, I do not. Yeah, Flavius, sometimes, our signals fail us. We're not going to win every trade. We're not. Sparky wants to know, do I take notice from the 1-hour green dot to open long, or does... So Sparky, I don't, green dots are only encouraging me to enter a long, but I really would like to wait until we see a level, until we see price coming to a level. That's where I will look to enter a long. Like, just because we're getting green dots doesn't mean we should enter a long, especially not in these kind of market conditions. Electron Power, how long did it take me to become patient and have the trades open for days rather than hours? Electron Power, here's how. Lock in your profit, man. If you can lock in your profit, it doesn't matter, because you know that you're making money. You know you're guaranteed to be in a win. If you know you're guaranteed to win the trade and you're guaranteed to have a bigger account after the trade than before the trade, it takes all the pressure off, man. And then you don't have to freak out about it. And if you're consistently doing that over time, like if you're consistently just growing your account over time, then your account will grow and you'll be able to make more money per trade. And eventually, if you've been in this crypto stuff for a long time, you'll have a lot of capital to trade with. So I don't know how long you've been doing this. I've been into Bitcoin since 2016, so, I've been very blessed to build up a lot of capital to trade with, because when I got into Bitcoin, it was very low in price, and now it's very high in price. So, but even if you just are getting into it now, and you have a couple $1,000s, if you can even just make 1% a day on your account by entering really high probability setups, that will compound quickly over time. Within a year, you will have lots of money to trade with, and then small wins are actually big wins. If you have a lot of capital, small wins are big wins, and once they're locked in, it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, am I going to have a big win or a small win? Let's see here. The reason I don't use log to pull my fib, J-Boy Bullish, is because I was never taught to do it that way. But I'll look into it more. Stefano, yes, the golden pocket is the 0.618 to the 0.65. 0.68 to the 0.65. Timmy Jane, what? Okay, what? The date I'm pulling from that fib is the May 19th. May 19th. On the 4 hour, and I'm pulling it from the price of about $3,001.55. But hang on. Am I tripping myself out here? I think I am. Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, I think then you're right, Timmy Jane, and my levels here are not right. Okay. Yeah, let's pull it from here. I guess I originally had it pulled from way up here. The reason I like this pull so much is because it gives me so much confidence. Like the point of control, the value area high, point of control, the value area low, were all respected very well before and after the dump. That's why I'm hesitant to change it. Because if I, let's say, move it to here, I guess that's still respected. Yeah, you know what? In all honesty, I would have both of these on my chart just as a reference point. I would have both of these on my chart. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to put more of these levels on the chart here, analyzing different slices of price action. Yeah, let's do that. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'll give these levels in the Discord. Yeah. Okay. So basically, what I've done is I have two ranges now on the chart, and now we've got 2 value area highs, 2 value area lows, and 2 pointed controls. And the reason I've done this, I think this actually is quite nice now, because you could see that both of these pointed controls tend to be respected, and now we have zones, a little bit more of a zone up here and down here. Just something to keep in mind, guys. But really the difference is if we're going to be pulling our fixed range from the start of the daily candle that we lost that, or from the actual 4-hour candle where we lost that level. That's going to be the difference. And I want both for reference, to use for confluence. Shout out to Jay Holiday. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so RB Smith brings up a good point that the higher time frame DBSI is very helpful. Yeah, I was just talking to someone yesterday. The daily and the higher time frame DBSI is very accurate. Oscar wants to know, how much of your assets do you put in a swing trade or a scalp? So Oscar, for me, I will put, I have trading accounts. I have different trading accounts, one for swing trading, one for scalping, and I will risk up to 5% of those accounts per trade. And sometimes if I have less money in an account, I will use leverage to place more contracts, but I'm still never risking more than what my risk management will allow me to. So Ethan says, I've heard Carl from the Moon say it's better to short with USDT. Yep, I mean, it's all personal preference. For me, I like to do the inverse perpetual even with shorts because I'm just stacking up my Bitcoin. I do my fibs on any time frame, A4D Woody, any time frame. Doesn't really matter as long as you get the same swings. I'm sorry, Timmy Jane. Maybe are you using logarithmic? That's so strange. Yeah, one candle will change it a lot because there was a lot of volume that happened during that dump. Jason Jones, yes, 5% with a stop loss. That doesn't mean a 5% stop loss. Just so you know, Jason Jones. It does not mean a 5% stop loss. Let's say I'm in a trade where I'm in the position, because I have a good entry, that I could do something like this, where I have literally like a point. Let's say I have a 0.3% stop loss, right? 0.3% stop loss. Under the last swing low, I have a very good entry. What I could do is I could put 100% of my account on the trade, 3x leverage, and only be risking 1%. Or, I could do 15x leverage and only be risking 5%, if I did that math right in my head. The point is, yeah, because maybe 5x leverage, or I don't know. I'm messing up in my head. There's a calculator you can use it if you've gone through the course. I show you a calculator you can use to figure that out. But yeah, you can you could put massive amounts of contracts on a trade and still have good risk management. You can use high leverage and still use good risk management. Okay, the percent stop loss really has nothing to do with it. The percent stop loss will determine how much of your account you can put on and how much leverage you can use. So DC 345 says we have a bear flag. Yeah, it's very possible. We could see Market Cipher came down. Just kind of looks like the money flow is coming down again. Yeah, this could be a bear flag. We'll see. We know if it drops again, we know where we're looking for longs. All right, guys. I'm gonna cut the stream. It's been on for 2 hours. Appreciate you all of you. I will be in the Discord today posting those trade setups, posting my levels. I just need to go take a quick break here and help out my wife with some things, and then I will be back in the Discord, also doing a public stream. Appreciate all of you guys. May the Lord bless all of you, and we'll see you next week, or if there's something important that happens and I do an impromptu stream. All right, peace everybody.